Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, or if you're here for the first time, welcome just the same. Most of you have probably already watched these two videos, or at least have listened to the audio recordings of Amber Heard admitting to multiple violent attacks against Johnny Depp. If you haven't, I suggest you do so before watching this one. In the recordings, she confesses to hitting, punching, and slapping Depp, and throwing things like pots, pans, and vases at him while mocking him for defending himself and always running away, calling him a coward and a baby, and dares him to tell the world he's a victim of domestic violence and see how many people believe him. Recently, the Daily Mail ran an article with about a 12-minute clip from her 2016 sworn deposition. I'll link the article below. In it, Amber is caught lying about one of the many instances she abused Johnny Depp. They ask her about the instance, to which she clearly makes up a story as she goes, and it's obvious. Then they play a recording of Amber and Johnny discussing the incident and how it actually happened, and watch her struggle to rearrange her lies in a failed attempt to make them fit. I actually covered this in an earlier video, but now we don't just have the transcript, and you can really get a sense of her body language while weaving her lies as she smirks, mocks, eats, and eye rolls her way through it. If you recall, this is an incident in which Johnny was hiding from Amber in the bathroom, and she was banging on the door and trying to push her way into the bathroom to get to him. While trying to close the door to stop her from assaulting him, she claims that the door scraped her toes. When Johnny bent down to check on her, she kicked the door into his head and then followed up with a punch to the jaw, all with no retaliation from Johnny. I'll be breaking it down, as always, adding context and important information, also adding clear audio as it's played back to her. Some things I really want you to focus on now that we know Amber was the actual abuser. 1. This deposition was less than 1 year after this audio of Amber confessing to be the violent and abusive one in their relationship. 2. Keep in mind that in this 2016 sworn deposition and in her 2019 sworn declaration in her motion to dismiss the defamation suit against her, she testified she only ever hit Johnny one time, not in self-defense, but because she thought Johnny was about to shove her sister. Of course, we know this to be a huge lie now. 3. Make note of her body language. Nodding in opposite directions from what she's hoping to convey with her words, fluttering her eyes, it's fascinating. Buying time and distracting by eating and hoping her counsel will step in and save her, which they do a lot. And then how angry and combative she becomes when she can't lie anymore and has to address the truth. And finally, notice how she basically takes Johnny's truth, the actual truth that he would defend himself and run away and seek safety from his abuser, and attempts to portray it as her own while making up a lie as she goes, even seemingly trying to convince herself she is being believable. This is a tactic she and her lawyers are attempting to publicly use now, stealing the truth of her victims and applying it to herself. Abusers do this often. It's called projection. Obviously, for anyone who recognizes behaviors and patterns here, let me know. I love reading comments from those brave enough to speak about their experiences with abusers like this, and I'm grateful for your input. Here we go.
The time is approximately 6:18 p.m. and we're back home.
And just a clarification, we're not going to invoke the Fifth Amendment privilege, so you can re-ask that question if you like.
Which question?
Did you commit domestic violence against Johnny Depp?
Any time prior to May 22nd, 2016, did you ever commit an act of domestic violence against Johnny Depp?
Calls for a legal conclusion and irrelevant, but go ahead.
Do you understand what I'm asking you?
No.
No?
Yes, I understand what you're asking.
Okay. And prior to May 21, 2016, or May 22, 2016, is it your testimony that you never committed any act of what would be considered domestic violence against Mr. Depp?
Calls for a legal conclusion and irrelevant to these proceedings.
No, I did my best to defend myself and not get seriously hurt or be a doormat to whom this happens to all the time.
Isn't it true, Ms. Heard, that you previously confessed and apologized to Johnny Depp for committing domestic violence against him?
I'm going to object. Calls for a legal conclusion, argumentative, harassing.
Isn't it true that you had previously told Johnny Depp that you had hit him?
I'm going to object. It's a different question. It's vague and ambiguous, vague as to time.
Many times when we fought, well, not many times. He hit me for a very long time before I ever
I'm going to
picked up my
object as
arms.
non-responsive and move to strike. Ms. Hurd, I'd like you to listen to what I'm about to play. Would you do that?
I then stood up. I don't even know if I said, I mean, I might have said, like, what the fuck, you know, whatever, because I just been hit in the head with the fucking corner of the door.
I'm so sorry, I did not. I'm sorry.
And then I stood up.
Do you recognize the voices on that tape?
Mm-hmm.
And who are the people on that tape?
It's Johnny and I.
Okay. And is Johnny describing an act where you made a door go into his head?
Objection, harassing, argumentative, vague.
I was trying to escape from a room where Johnny was attacking me. And in order to escape, I was trying to get onto the other side of the door, attempting to close the door, and he was attempting to get in despite my attempts to try and escape an assault.
Isn't it true that on this tape that was just played, you tell Johnny Depp you're sorry?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you fucking clocked me.
I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing.
Did you just tell Johnny Depp in that recording that I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing?
Yes, as he was trying to get into the door, into the room, I was trying to escape in. He pushed the door into me, and I was trying to hit him by getting him out of the door to stay in the room.
And you told him in that tape recording that you hit him, correct?
I don't know what words I used in that. You can play it back if you want, but I don't remember exactly how long.
If you wouldn't mind, if you'll continue to listen.
Okay.
And I'm really sorry about hitting you with the door, or hitting your head. I did.
Did you tell Johnny Depp at that time you were speaking to him that you were really sorry for hitting him with the door, hitting him?
I think in that recording I made it very clear that I was sorry that the door hit him while he was trying to get into the room I was escaping, or attempting to escape into.
Okay, I gotta jump in here a second. Is anyone buying this so far? She wanted to paint a picture that she was fleeing from Johnny when in fact it was the other way around. She's lying about what was just played to her on the tape. It's not clear at all that she was trying to escape because it's not on the tape. Does she really think she can convince people that something completely opposite happened? Does she believe it? I don't get it. Someone explain to me what appears to be a phenomenal level of denial and manipulation of the truth.
I will mark, excuse me. I'd like you to listen to the following tape. This is punched, and we need to have.
Are they being marked as exhibits?
Yeah, mark as exhibit.
We just marked P as the one we just played,
okay.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Marking the next thing that I'm going to play to you as Q. Would you listen to this, please? This is punching.
It's one
The
of the
one that
right.
says punching.
It's probably just a shitty lock. Anyway, I opened the bathroom door when you were knocking on it. After a few times I opened, and you just kept going. You just kept going. I tried to close the door 3 times. Please, just don't, and then wait, and then I accidentally, I swear, when I was trying to close the door, I guess it scraped your toes. I didn't mean to do that. And I bent down, and you either pushed or you kicked. I think you kicked the door open. I mean, the door, more open. so that it would hit me. And it hit
No,
me.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know
It
that.
hit me in the fucking head.
But I did not mean to do that. I don't know what you're
I
talking
was
about.
bent down behind the door.
I did not do anything to her. I did not kick a door or push a door so that it would hit you. I did not. I swear that I don't even. That did not. It was not my intention. I think I remember when the door scraped my toes.
Okay. So you told him in that excerpt that you hit him with the door but did not intend to hit him, correct?
Recording speaks for itself.
Did you say that?
I said whatever I said in that recording. I
Okay.
don't. When you play it for me, it's hard for me to remember every single.
And that's a recording marked as exhibit the punching.
Q, that we
Q.
just played.
Q. Would you continue to listen to exhibit Q?
Are these from the same day?
I reacted, but this whole the door thing. I remember. I never did that. That wasn't on purpose. I might have done it on accident.
Okay.
But
So let's say that was an accident. I then stood up. I don't even know if I said. I mean, I might have said like, "What the fuck?" What, you know, whatever. Because I just been hit in the head with the fucking corner of a door.
I'm so sorry. I did not. I'm sorry.
And then I stood up. And then you fucking clocked me.
I remember hitting you as a response to the door thing. And I'm really sorry about hitting you with the door, or hitting your head. I did not mean to, nor...
You didn't mean to hit me in the head with the door, but you meant to punch me in the jaw.
I meant to hit you, and I did not do this thing with the door. I do remember, I did mean to hit you.
So that you didn't mean.
The door? No, God, no, I didn't.
But punching me in the jaw.
I didn't. Okay, I'm sorry.
So on the tape, you tell Johnny Depp that you did mean to hit him.
Objection. That's argumentative, and it misstates what the recording was.
And it also misrepresents what actually happened, which is him trying to get into a room I'm trying to keep him out of. And then he runs the door over my toes, trying to get into the room. I tried to push him out of it, which is what the hit is referred to. And Johnny, whenever he was injured or touched, it always referred to it in these ways of punching or clocked or whatever. And whether you didn't discussed it with him or not, the last thing you do in talking to him afterwards or trying to reconcile with him is to get into what the definition of those words mean to him.
Just say what
So
happened.
I never even addressed it. He would, if he was ever pushed, it was a cold. He called it a cold clock. I mean, it was just very dramatic.
Isn't it?
Very dramatic? So she just scoffed, smirked, and rolled her eyes at the idea of Johnny complaining about her abusing him. Gee, this is starting to sound really familiar, isn't it?
And
I lied.
And that you punched me in the
You're right.
fucking thing, and you
figured
in
it
the face,
out.
and you said, "No, fucking, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about?" And I
didn't
watched
punch
you lie, and then
I
I
didn't punch you.
and
By
then
the way, I'm sorry that I didn't
punched
hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you, babe. You're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of fights have been around a long time. I know. Yeah,
No, when you fucking have a closed
You
fist.
didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you.
You can't
I don't know
deck
what
me.
the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are your toes?
What am I supposed to do? Do this?
How are your
I'm not
toes?
sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are.
Oh,
That's
you-
the difference
you
between
poor
me and
toes.
you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you start
You
physical
are
fights.
such a baby.
Because
Grow
you-
the fuck up,
Because you start
Johnny.
physical fights.
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did. So I had to get the
Because-
fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable. Every single time. What's your excuse when there's not a physical fight? Then what's the excuse there? You're still being admirable, right? Just by running away.
Is it true, Ms. Heard, that in September of 2015, you punched Johnny Depp in the face with a closed fist?
I hit Johnny one time when he Sorry. I'll wait.
No, you answer the question. Please stop whispering because it's distracting over here.
It's your team.
No, I was referring
No, these
to
two.
this actually.
I can't hear them. I hear them.
can't hear them.
So please answer the question.
Yes or no, did you ever
No.
punch Johnny Depp with a closed fist in the history of your relationship with Johnny?
Answer it however you feel you wish to.
One time, Johnny was hitting me, and he was hitting me hard and repeatedly, and I was screaming. Security walks in, and they don't do anything about it. And he makes this motion when Jerry Judge yells "boss" or Sean, I can't remember who it was, and all we had was a little bit of separation, and my sister runs down the stairs. We're on a landing in between two flights of stairs.
Ms. Heard, I must interrupt you,
You can't.
because
You
I've
can't.
asked you a yes
Then
or no question.
withdraw your question then because
Ms.
she's
Heard,
answering.
prior to today's date, have you ever hit Johnny Depp?
Answer it however you wish. You've already asked, and she's already answered, and you interrupted her.
Ms. Heard, have you ever hit Johnny Depp prior to today?
Objection, Vegas to time.
Hey, everyone on this side of the room, please.
Objection 352. It's not relevant to the domestic violence proceeding.
Overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Answer it however you want to, including the way you were just, if
I'm
you
asking
wish.
for a yes or no answer.
You don't have to answer it the way she wants you to answer it.
He was about to push my sister down the stairs. She was attempting to break us up. I am protective over my baby sister. When he laid hands on her, I don't know what I did, but I know I jumped in between the actions that I saw could lead to a fatal injury to my sister. She was standing on the top of a flight of stairs, and she has never hurt anyone in her life, and she does not deserve to be pushed down the flight of stairs. And it looked like she was about to be. And I would have done what anybody who has a child or a sister would have done. I acted defensively in her life. I saw her standing on top of a flight of stairs and trying to interrupt a fight in between him and I. I don't know what part of my body I put in between me and him and her. But I would have done anything. I would have done anything to prevent her from being pushed down a flight of stairs.
So this is her harrowing story about the only time she hit Johnny. I repeat, she testified this story and incident was the only time she ever hit him. Look, we know just from this video and the audio recordings, that's a huge lie. She has hit him multiple times as he attempted to run away from her. But that aside, I do want to show testimony to help clear up what seems to be the more likely scenario that day. The date was March 23rd, 2015. It was early morning. Johnny was still wearing a cast on his right hand and arm, as this was just a short 2 weeks after she had thrown a vodka bottle at him in Australia, slicing off the tip of his finger, and also burned his face with a cigarette. In Amber's testimony, she says Johnny was hitting her after he had toppled some of her clothing racks in Penthouse 5, which she had taken as her personal closet. After the alleged incident, the only evidence she submitted are text messages that Whitney sent to the estate manager Kevin Murphy, in which they seemed to be trying to get a reaction out of him while sending photos of the overturned clothing racks. As you recall, Amber couldn't remember which security member showed up, Sean or Jerry. Turns out she was wrong on both counts. It was Travis McGivern. You remember Travis. He's the one Johnny would text for protection from Amber in her audio confession, to which she had these things to say about him and Johnny.
After you fucking got physically violent with me, I texted Travis. I said, come up here, because I didn't want anything to happen.
I mean, yeah.
Is coming to what? Save me?
No, go ahead. Continue. You. Travis to the rescue.
No,
Right, you have something you're holding on to about Travis. Fucking go fuck. You know, go do it. Go run away together.
We'll talk to Travis.
I'm not fucking talking to nobody.
No,
fuck
because
that.
you
You go fucking jerk him off. I don't care. I really could care less.
Well, Travis has given testimony. He testified that on the morning of March 23rd, 2015, Johnny texted him to come to Penthouse 5 and bring the nurse Debbie, who works for Johnny. After arriving, they witnessed Johnny and Amber having a verbal argument over Amber's suspicions about Johnny's involvement with another woman. He also testified that Whitney was present, who has yet to give her side of these alleged events, as Amber has pretty much been doing all the speaking for most of her so-called witnesses. Travis testified that about 30 to 45 minutes into the argument, he witnessed Amber throw a can of Red Bull that hit Johnny in the back, and then she spit on him. She also threw her purse at Johnny, but Travis was able to deflect it midair. And then he testified about 10 minutes before he left with Johnny, Amber punched Johnny in his eye with a closed fist.
Isn't it true, Ms. Heard, that prior to today you've committed domestic violence against your sister, Whitney Heard?
I'm going to object. Don't answer that. It has nothing to do with these proceedings.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Heard, that you've hit Johnny Depp on multiple occasions prior to today's date?
Objection 352.
Okay, it's compound. It's been asked and answered.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Heard, that on multiple occasions prior to today you've hit Mr. Depp without any provocation?
Same objection.
Objection Vegas to time 352.
No?
No.
Isn't it a fact, Ms. Heard, that prior to today you have slapped Mr. Depp on multiple occasions?
Objection Vegas to time 352.
I want to quickly close out with a few things. We now know Amber has lied on multiple platforms about the abuse she committed and severe injuries she inflicted on Johnny. But the most important of these is the fact that she did so on several occasions as sworn testimony. So if Amber was this willing to lie on such a grand scale nearly 4 years ago, when she wasn't facing real consequences for her actions, as she was the one making the initial allegations, how much do you think she's willing to lie now? Now that she's facing a mountain of physical evidence, witness testimony, and real consequences. My guess is she'll say whatever she feels will get her out of all of this, no matter how twisted and cavernous the lie will be. Also, there's nothing even hinting that Amber's actions were a means of self-defense. There's just too much evidence and her own admission that says otherwise. She's hoping you'll believe some statistics about abuse, about powerful men, and ignore every ounce of truth staring us all in the face. She's taking the stories, emotions, and truths of her string of victims and hoping she can emulate them all enough to be believed, and while seemingly trying to convince herself of it as well. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to chime in down in the comments, but please be respectful to one another. We inch closer to the whole truth every day. I know they say a lie can race halfway around the world while the truth is still tying its shoes. Well, I'm glad more seem to be seeking it out and helping it catch up. So thanks again, and until next time, if there is a next time, take care.